Hello everyone, welcome back and thank you for watching. If you're new here, my name is Maria. I do DIYs, crafts, reviews, and more. So if you love to craft and do budget-friendly home decor, you should definitely subscribe and hit the bell button to get notified every time I upload. In today's video, I have 4 Dollar Tree Farmhouse Easter DIYs. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Now let's craft. In this video, I have 4 Dollar Tree Easter Farmhouse DIYs. My first DIY is this bunny topiary. I absolutely love how this turned out. I will be using this dowel, this bunny sign, and moss. I got all of these from Dollar Tree. For the vase, I will be using a galvanized bucket. This one's from Dollar General. I'm going to start off by removing everything, the tag and the carrots from the bunny. I will be also removing the bow, and I'm gonna save the bow because I will be putting it back on once I add the moss. Next, I'm going to paint the bunny using this English ivy green. I am only giving it 1 coat of paint, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I am only painting it because when I add the moss, in case I miss any spots. I decided to paint the back of the bunny. I also painted some of the dowel, so when I glue it to the bunny, it blends in. As you can see, one side looks way better than the other. You can see some of the bunny, but that's okay because I'm going to use that side to glue the moss. I'm going to start by gluing moss to the bunny, and I'm going to do it by sections just because the glue dries real quick. Once I am done gluing the moss, I'm going to trim it around. And this is how it looks. Now I am going to glue the bow back. I lost the clip where I finished painting the dowel, but all I did was I painted the rest brown, and now I am going to glue it to the back of my bunny. And the last thing I did, I added a piece of foam inside the bucket, and I added some rocks, and then I added some of the Spanish moss on top of it. I ended up switching buckets because the bucket was too short and it looked weird, and I switched it to another one that I already had, and I removed that ribbon it had around it, and I added some of this brown plaid so it can match the rest of my decor. And I also added a little bow on top of that burlap bow. My second DIY are these carrots. I absolutely love how they turned out. I will be using the carrots I removed from the bunny sign in my first DIY. So for the carrots, I started to peel off the orange part, and I was gonna leave the green part, but I accidentally ended up peeling some of the green off, so I just peeled the whole thing off of the first carrot. Now that's why I'm going to do that to the second carrot. I'm going to paint the leaves of the carrots using the English ivy green, and I am going to paint front and back. The only reason I painted them was because I'm going to use the moss sheet for the leaves, and my moss sheet has some moss missing. As you can see right here, you can see it. Next, I'm going to cut them out and then just glue them to the carrot. For the rest of the carrot, I will be using jute string, and I'm going to wrap it around. And I'm only using the glue at the beginning and then here and there so the string doesn't move. Once I was done, I added the ribbon and the bow. So the carrots can be able to stand, I used some wooden blocks, and I got these from Dollar Tree, and I glue them to the back of one carrot. And to the other carrot, I used one piece of jenga block, and I glued it halfway the carrot, so when I put it, it stands up higher. And then I added one of the wooden blocks behind the jenga blocks so it can stand. And they can stand like this. I did paint the front of the jenga block brown, and you can arrange them however you want. I just love how these turned out. My third DIY is this sign. I'm going to use the sign I got from Dollar Tree, and I am going to practically redo it. I'm just going to make it more my style. I'm going to remove the string, tag, and also the carrot, the egg, and the rabbit. So I love how the front looked. I love the lettering, except I didn't like the color. So I was going to use the front, so I started to paint the sign white, and then I was gonna go over the letters with a different color, but I didn't like how it looked, so I ended up flipping the sign over and then painting the other side white. Using a ruler and a pencil, I'm going to draw the arrows. Next, I'm gonna go around the arrows using this brown paint. For the words, I will be using two different stencils. The first arrow is going to say egg hunt, and I'm using this wheel stencil I got from Dollar Tree. The second arrow is going to say carrot patch, and I use the other stencils I had. And for the third one, is going to say Easter Bunny, and I hand drew that myself. For egg hunt and Easter Bunny, I did burnt umber, and for carrot patch, I used hazelnut. Now I'm going to distress my sign, and I'm going to use this antique wax, and let me tell you something, I love it. Thank you so much, Fanny. I'm using it because you always use it, and I love how your stuff turns out. So I had to get it. All I'm doing is distressing around the arrows and also around the words. I then distressed it some more using a darker color. I'm going to use the stuff I removed from the sign, and I'm going to like redo them. I mean, they are pretty how they are like that, but they don't go with the farm style. So I'm going to paint the bunny green and the egg dark brown. The carrot, I painted it a gray color, but I ended up not using the carrot. I'm going to use my moss sheet and trace the bunny. This moss sheet is from Dollar Tree. I love using the moss sheets instead of the regular loose moss. It's a lot better because it is less messier and it's so easy to cut. Next, I'm going to just glue it to the bunny. So for the carrot, I'm going to use this galvanized heart I removed from a Valentine's sign. So what I did is I cut it, and I thought it was gonna fit on the carrot and it was too small, so I decided to just use the piece instead. And all I did is I added some leaves to it so it can look like a carrot. And for the egg, I'm going to do the same thing I did with the carrots in my second DIY. I'm just going to wrap it around with jute string, and I'm gonna use glue here and there so the string doesn't move. Here I'm doing the egg that came with the sign. It was too big for my sign, so I ended up doing a smaller one using cardboard, but I did the same method. I wrapped it around with jute string. Next, all I did was glue the bunny, the carrot, and the egg to the sign. So I had to glue some string to the back so I can be able to hang it, because I didn't pay attention and I did my sign upside down. So the holes are at the bottom of my sign and now I can't use them. I did end up covering them after with glue and then painted over them. I wanted to incorporate the plaid ribbon, so I added a bow to the string. And the last thing I added was a piece of paint stir stick that I painted brown so it can look like a steak. My fourth and last DIY is this beautiful egg topiary. For the base, I will be using these clay pots. I got these from Dollar Tree. 3 come in a pack, but I'm only using 1, and I'm going to paint it brown. For the stick, I'm using 2 popsicle sticks and I'm gluing them together. And then here I'm painting it brown, but then I went over it with black. Next, I'm going to cut strips of this moss sheet so then I can glue them around the clay pot. I'm using another piece of floral foam and I'm going to put it inside the pot. For the eggs, I'm using the egg I didn't use in my third DIY, and then I did another smaller egg using cardboard, and I used the same method I used for the carrots. I just wrapped them around jute string. I'm going to glue the small egg sideways or a little bit slanted, and then I will be gluing the bigger egg underneath, the opposite and slanted too. Then I'm going to glue it inside the foam and then add some rocks. And the last thing I'll be adding is this plaid bow so it can match the rest of my decor. And that is it, guys. I hope you guys like what I came up with, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and see you next time. Bye.